right, let's hit the field.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
It is Saturday, August 10th, and it was Game 2 of a doubleheader between the Yankees and the world champion Texas Rangers. After a win in Game 1, the Yankees were trying to lock down Game 2 behind Garrett Cole. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
New York City.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Yikes. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Full day of baseball for both fans of the Yankees and the Rangers. Yankees won Game 1, 8-0. Game 2, a much different story. The Yankees wasted a damn good pitching performance from Garrett Cole. Game actually started off okay. Tie game through 5 innings before the Rangers exploded for 5 runs off of Luke Weaver and 3 runs off of Michael Tonkin, who both got booed into the shadow realm. Second game in a row that Gleyber Torres gave the Yankees an early lead with a line drive single to right field. He's had a few of those today, so that's a good sign. I always felt like Gleyber Torres is at his best when he's just taking the ball to right field and picking up base hits, because then the power comes. You get under one and you drive it out of the ballpark. But, Garrett Cole was vintage today. Except for the fact that he got pulled after 90 pitches. We can talk about that, whether it was too quick of a hook. I think the Yankees are trying to manage his health. He's battled some elbow injuries. He had the general body fatigue. 10 strikeouts today. We'll break all that down in a minute. I thought maybe it was a little bit of a quick hook, but, I don't blame Boom for trying to keep this guy healthy. Not a lot of other positives. Giancarlo Stanton had some good swings today. He hit 3 balls. Very hard. One of them into Monument Park. Laser beam double. That was 115 off the bat. And a multi-hit day from Alex Verdugo. Mark Leiter has pretty good stuff. But the Yankees fail and once again split a doubleheader for the second time this week. Let's talk about Garrett Cole, though, because I feel like this is at least one major positive from today. Cole has not been Cole since he's come back. But this is the second good start in a row after he had to skip a start. The stuff today was the best that we have seen this year, period. Best stuff that he's had all year. And I was nervous because it was his first time pitching to Carlos Narvaez. And we know that Garrett Cole's kind of like a picky pitcher, right? He doesn't like to have his routine interrupted. Last year he didn't throw to Austin Wells when Austin Wells got called up for the final 6 weeks of the season. And I was worried that, maybe he would implode if he didn't have his personal catcher. But to his credit, he was great. Fastball was touching 99. The curveball was filthy, season high in strikeouts. Because of the time that the game started, I thought he got helped a little bit by the shadows early on. During those late afternoon games at Yankee Stadium, where the shadows are halfway between home plate and the pitcher's mound, it's just an absolute nightmare for hitters. And Cole was taking advantage of it. 8 strikeouts for the first 4 innings, 10 strikeouts. The shadows were pretty much gone by the end of the 5th, but he had a couple more strikeouts in the 5th. I thought the curveball was especially good. StatCast breakdown of his 90 pitches, 63 of them were strikes. Max velo was 99.1 miles an hour. He had 26 swings and misses. That's a ton. He had 52 total swings. So of the swings that batters took, half of them came up empty. On the season, ERA down to 4.70. Still obviously not where Garrett Cole expects it to be, but second good game in a row. 46 innings on the season, more than a strikeout per inning, 52 strikeouts, just 14 walks. The whip remains high at 1.41, but I'm confident that will come down with time. He threw the ball well enough to win today, but the offense and the bullpen both let him down, unfortunately. We got to get a big start tomorrow from Marcus Stroman. Rubber game, and Stroman has been bad. Since June 16th, he is 1-3 with a 5.56 ERA in 7 starts. So that's awful. 41 hits allowed in 34 innings over that span. Get this. Hitters have an OPS of 883 off of Marcus Stroman since June 16th. They're hitting 304. If you're not a numbers person, those numbers are straight doo-doo. And what's worrisome is that he got off to kind of a similar start last year with the Cubs, fell apart in the second half. So the same thing could be happening. We got to watch it. And tomorrow's going to be a must-watch if you're a Yankees fan, because they got a chance to either win the series and end the weekend on a high note, or to drop another series to a team they really should beat, a sub-500 team. And we need Marcus Stroman to step up. So I hinted at it last week. We're going to be breaking some major channel news on Monday. The news will actually be broken on Foul Territory during the day, so tune in for that. And then we'll dive in depth into what it means on Monday night. So tune in to Foul Territory on Monday, and then obviously tune in here for the post-game show after the White Sox. You're going to want to see it. That's all I'm going to say. It's big. Let's go ahead and get to the recap.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
Both teams were quiet early on. Bottom two, Jazz Chisholm ripped a line drive single. Then he stole second base, 25th steal of the season. He was showcasing the speed and the power today. He hit a couple of home runs in the doubleheader. He came around to score on the line drive single to right by Gleyber Torres. Second game today that he's done that, and 7th game in a row with at least one hit. It's no coincidence, I think, that a lot of his hits are going to right field. You know, he's just a much better hitter when he lets the ball travel and just laces it the other way, instead of exploding through that front side and trying to pull everything and falling off. So, positive sign for him. Franklin Lopez says, have you noticed that the Yankees can't beat left-handed pitchers at all? And, yeah, they had another difficult time with it today. I don't know how you solve it. It's got to be a mental thing at this point. You throw lefties against them in the playoffs, you're going to beat them. But Yankees threatened in the third inning. Aaron Judge bounced into an around-the-horn double play to end the inning, though. Rangers tied it up in the fourth. Cole kind of worked into and out of the jam, struck out the side for the second time in the game. He came out to get Wyatt Langford in the top of the sixth, but he was done after 90 pitches. Final line, 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. So definitely had the swing and miss working today. Unfortunately, Luke Weaver was awful. Just did not have it today. 4 hits and 5 runs allowed in just 1/3 of an inning pitch. That means he got 1 out, and he gave up 4 hits and 5 runs. That's hard to do. Big play in the inning. Juan Soto was trying to make a terrific catch. It popped out of his glove. He threw to third. Would have been a force out, but Jazz Chisholm was not on the bag. I could say that, he's new to the position and, cut him some slack, but you kind of got to know where the base runners are, and you should know as a veteran baseball player that there's a force play there. He did make a nice defensive play in the 7th, but by then it was 9-1 Rangers. Stanton smoked a 2-run home run in the 8th inning, 451 feet. He hit 3 balls today that were at least 111 miles an hour, exit velocities. The double that he hit to left field was 115.8 off the bat. That was his high watermark of the day. So good to see him finally putting it together. Chisholm followed up with a solo shot, second home run of the doubleheader. He officially has a 2020 season, 20 home runs and 25 stolen bases. But it was not enough as the Yankees come up short, 9-4.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Old and retired says, Boone's righty lineup is not working versus lefties. You wonder if maybe the Martian coming up as a switch hitter could fill in for Verdugo when the rosters expand in September. He hits right-handed and left-handed. He's not as good from the right side of the plate, but he's serviceable. And I've seen him hit a number of home runs right-handed. I've seen him rip a number of line drives right-handed, so he hits lefties. I haven't looked at his numbers this year in the minors versus righties and lefties, but I will. But I think that's an option that we could look at. DJ's been swinging the bat a little bit better lately, not great. He obviously didn't do a ton today. I don't have the box score in front of me, but I saw some better swings. I also saw some more ground balls, unfortunately. So, maybe you hit him, somewhere in the lineup versus lefties. I think it's interesting that Oswaldo Cabrera keeps hitting lefty versus lefties. He did it in game 1. Ben Rice didn't get the start versus the lefty. Austin Wells, probably would have if it hadn't been the second game of a doubleheader. He's been swinging the bat well. But, Yankees got to figure out a way to put up more damage against lefties. That's a good point. Scotto says, who else called the meaningless home run from Stanton? I'm not going to call that one meaningless because he's been trying to get it back together. He's just coming back from that injury. Sure, it was meaningless in the grand scope of the game, but it's good on a personal level for him to get his confidence going, to get his mechanics right. I thought he had some really good swings today. Not just the results, the hard line drives, but you look at the foul balls and you look at the way he took pitches, just the little nuances in his swing. He looked a lot more comfortable today. So that's big. Joe Malonzi says they lost this game when Judge hit into a double play and Jazz didn't tag third base. I mean, those were two of the biggest plays of the game. You're not wrong. I'm not going to jump on Judge's case. He had 3 hits in the first game. Hasn't been getting much to hit and still doing a great job. And Jazz, yeah, he should have made that play. He should have tagged third. But he also made some nice plays. Again, new to the position. Everybody has mental errors now and then. But anyway, Alex says the White Sox are going to take 2 out of 3. Man, I hope not. That would be absolutely miserable. Let's see here. CTC card says Stanton needed that home run. Absolutely. Got to get his confidence back. When he's swinging the bat well and, driving the ball, he can go on those crazy streaks where he carries your team for a week or two. And that's, we could use that right now. We gave him a break for, 6 weeks or so. It's time for him to, carry the load for a little while. Alex says this team always plays down to its competition, and that is 100% on manager Aaron Boone. You're probably not wrong. You got to find a way to inspire your team against some of these lesser competition type teams. I mean, you can't lose 2 out of 3 of the Angels, right? And the way the Rangers have played this year, I know they're the world champs, but you really should win this series. Stroman, that's why I was saying, tomorrow is super important. There's this old saying in baseball, momentum is as strong as your next day's starting pitcher. That really applies today. The Yankees have a chance to build some momentum. I truly believe they will beat up on the White Sox. I don't agree with that commenter who said the White Sox are going to win 2 out of 3. White Sox are really bad. They're like a minor league baseball team. I think the Yankees are going to probably sweep that series, at least take 2 out of 3. You'd like to sweep and you'd like to win tomorrow. That'll give you 4 in a row. Nice little win streak. As somebody noted earlier, the Orioles are winning again. So they're putting a little distance between themselves and the Yankees here in first place. Peter says, guys, it's clearly Weaver's fault today. Tonkin giving up 3 more runs didn't help either. I wouldn't say it's clearly. I mean, yeah, Weaver definitely contributed, but there were a lot of issues. I mean, if Jazz tags third, that inning unfolds differently. If Judge hits one in the seats instead of 5-4-3 double play, the game unfolds differently. One play rarely makes or breaks a baseball game. I remember in the state championship in 2001, high school state championship, there was a grounder to short, and our shortstop, who is normally a very good defender, booted what should have been an easy double play ball. And after we lost the game, he was really upset, and I remember my coach saying to him, hey, one play never makes or breaks a ball game. And I thought about it, and yeah, there were a lot of little things in that game that added up. So, and since then, I've always kind of felt like, in any game, in any loss, you can usually identify a few things that could have gone differently that would have changed the outcome. So, John Falsetta says, White Sox easily take 2 out of 3 from this team. It's gutless. Hey, let's not overreact. Come on. Nice Guy says, Stan can carry a team. In what world? Have you not been watching the Yankees for the last few years? He goes on these mega streaks where he'll hit like 5 home runs in a week. We've seen him do it. Go watch some highlights of that Boston series a couple of years ago where he went crazy. Last year, it wasn't so much. Last year, he was hurt. He was, he didn't play well. But this year, he's been good. He's had a lot of big hits with runners in scoring position this year. Still trying to come back from that hamstring injury, I think. The save situation says, Robertson's still a solid closer. Too bad. I never felt like we should have gotten rid of David Robertson or let him walk. I see that he's changed up his delivery a little bit. He's got a little, almost like a step. Remember, he used to just come set and then kick? He's got almost like a mini wind-up now. It's funny how even being in the league for 15, 20 years, you can still make tweaks and change your game to try and get better. John Falsetta says he has more faith in Will Warren than Stroman. I mean, Will Warren has an ERA over 11, so I think that's, just a little outside.
Just a bit outside.
Craig M. says, could Chisholm go 30-30? I think it's unlikely. He'd have to hit 10 more home runs in the final 6 weeks. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, maybe. His power has definitely been impressive with the Yankees, but that's asking a lot. Joy Boy says, Holiday is looking great for the O's. I wish the Yanks would bring up the Martian. Martian has actually been struggling a little bit over the last week or so. I think he's coming back from that oblique injury. And sometimes when you have an oblique injury, you can really struggle to just let it rip all the time, just let it loose and be confident. And I think that's what's happening. I think he's been a little tentative right now. Sorry, gonna get some water. Second podcast of the day over there. Plus screaming at the TV, screaming at Luke Weaver. Voice is a little bit sore, not gonna lie to you. But, I'm anxious to see the Martian. I think we'll see him in a few weeks. And they're trying to keep him under 138 at-bats for his career or something like that. So, anyway, John Falsetta, full of all sorts of positive stuff in this podcast, says, Stroman is another Ed Whitson. Well, I mean, is every pitcher who pitches bad for the Yankees another Ed Whitson? I mean, there's only so many Ed Whitson. I think, I never saw Ed Whitson pitch. But I think that just demeanor-wise, Stroman and Whitson are two different guys. Whitson apparently just kind of collapsed when he came to New York mentally and struggled with confidence and things like that. Stroman doesn't have that problem. He's just kind of a smallish pitcher who I think wears out as the season goes on because he has to exert so much force to throw the ball 93, 94 miles an hour. It's tough. You have to generate more leverage. So, it is what it is. Let's wrap up here. Tough day. Yankees will play tomorrow at 1:30. I will be back. Once again, don't forget to tune in both to Foul Territory on Monday and then to the post-game show here on Monday night. Big announcements coming that you are all going to like. It's going to be huge for the channel. So stay tuned for all that. Take a few more comments. Wayne Wilcox says, when is Judge going to hit another home run? Seems like it's been 2+ weeks now since he hit one. It does seem like it's been a while, but it can't have been that long. It's been like a week. And he hasn't been getting pitched too much. It had to have been against... Did he hit one against the Angels? I know he had a couple against the Blue Jays. I know he took Gossman deep. I don't recall if he went deep against the Angels. But Taite Erickson says, how about this rotation? Cole, Rodon, Heel, Clark, Schmidt, and Stroman. Put Cortez in the bullpen. Add another lefty to the bullpen. Call up Martian and Spencer Jones. First of all, Spencer Jones not getting called up. He's striking out about 40% of the time in Double-A. And he hasn't given the Yankees any reason to call him up to Triple-A, let alone the majors. So, not going to happen. As far as the rotation, I don't think the rotation really matters that much during the regular season at this point. I mean, we got, 6 + 7 weeks maybe. You just got to get the best starts you can out of whoever's available. When you go to the playoffs, you're only going to use 4 starters. So I think it's going to be Cole, Rodon, Heel, and Clark Schmidt. That would be my prediction. And hopefully we'll be getting Clark Schmidt back here in the near future. But anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a day. Lori C says just win tomorrow, and I agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I'm going to call it a night and get some rest. Couple of podcasts today. I feel like I've been going all day. One more on the weekend, and then we'll see you on Monday with some big news. I'll catch you next time.
Ball game over.